Trump calls Erdogan to congratulate him on contested referendum. Turkey says President Trump called to congratulate Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan on Monday after a referendum greatly expanding his powers, despite a more circumspect State Department response to Sunday's vote, which international election observers declared unfair. According to accounts by both Trump and Erdogan, the two also discussed the U.S. missile strike on a Syrian airbase in response to the April 4 chemical weapons attack on civilians in Idlib province. Trump thanked Erdogan for Turkey's support of the retaliatory action. The leaders agreed that Syrian President Bashar al-Assad should be held accountable for the chemical attack that killed at least 70 people. And they talked about the ongoing campaign to counter the Islamic State. Trump's comments differed in tone from those of the State Department, which urged Turkey to respect the basic rights of its citizens and noted the election irregularities witnessed by monitors with the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe. The United States is a member of the OAS. Will look to the government of Turkey to protect the fundamental rights and freedoms of all its citizens, said the department's acting spokesman, Mark Toner, noting the objections of the Turkish opposition and the monitors. The United States remains committed to strengthening our bilateral relationship. He added, the United States continues to support Turkey's democratic development, to which commitment to the rule of law and a diverse and free media remain essential. White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer earlier told reporters that the administration would not comment on the referendum until the final report of election observers is complete sometime next week, before we start getting into their government system. Let this commission get through its work, he said. The juxtaposition of the differing responses underscored the awkward situation faced by many United States and European officials in responding to the disputed results of the referendum, which changed Turkey from a parliamentary democracy to one led by an executive president with strong central powers. It passed by a slim margin, 51.3% to 48.7%. OAS observers said the campaign did not meet international standards for democracies, noting that virtually all Turkish media failed to cover the opposition, creating an uneven playing field. Erdogan lashed out in response at what he called a soft-crusader mentality in the West. Both the United States and EU are in a bind, said Michael Wers, a Turkey analyst with the Center for American Progress. They can either disagree with the OAS findings, or they can say the truth. It was not a free and fair election. Turkey remains a key ally in the campaign against the Islamic State and as a host for millions of Syrian refugees. The United States flies bombing missions over Syria from Turkey's Incirlik air base, and almost 3 million Syrians are registered as refugees in Turkey, more than in any other country. The EU has sought Turkey's help in stanching the westward flow of refugees. Since a failed coup last July, Turkey has been under a state of emergency and basic freedoms have been eroded, according to human rights groups. For example, Turkey has imprisoned more journalists than any other country has previously, according to the Committee to Protect Journalists. But Turkey's strategic importance means that the referendum, even if voting irregularities are proved, is unlikely to affect United States policy. I don't think the administration will be concerned about problems with Turkish democracy, said Gonal Tol, head of the Middle East Institute's Center for Turkish Studies. From the get-go, they made it clear they will work with United States allies on U.S. national security concerns. But aside from that, they won't interfere in a country's domestic matters. but Hakan Erdemir, a former member of the Turkish parliament who is an analyst with the Foundation for Defense of Democracies, said suspicions that the referendum was rigged and still produced only a razor-thin victory create a legitimacy crisis for Erdogan and his allies in the United States and the EU. The ones who voted no are the bulk of the pro-Western and pro-secular crowd in Turkey. Erdemir said, if the West turns a blind eye to their grievances and embraces Erdogan wholeheartedly, the West risks losing Turkey's pro-West half.